Alright guys, welcome back to this video. Welcome back to another video on the channel. Today I am going to be experimenting with two different rust removal methods. So the first one is apple cider vinegar or vinegar. And so what I've done here is I've gotten a bunch of spanners and crescents, as you can see. And I've put them in this container, doesn't matter what, I just use a plastic container. And then I have added 100% apple cider vinegar, or you could use normal vinegar, white vinegar. Then you add table salt, that helps activate the vinegar. And I'll leave that in there for a while and come back and show you the results. So this next one is electrolysis. And what electrolysis does is you're negatively charging the piece that you want to get derusted, and you're positively charging your anode, which is a sacrificial piece of steel, which I can touch because it's only at 9 volts. And what this does is, as the current runs through the metal, it takes off the oxidized layer and brings it back up to this positive here, which then builds up on the positive, obviously, and that's your sacrificial piece of steel, which gets all the rust on. And I am running this, which is an AC/DC adapter, AC/DC. Input is 230 volts, as you can see, AC, and then output, this is a step down, is 9.6 volts at like only, what's the amps? The 200 milliamps, which is not even like, you wouldn't even feel it. Okay, so when you're using this, when you're using this process, you want to use something that's plastic or, well, is not metal, because metal conducts electricity and that will ruin the process. And so I can like touch this because it's only 9 volts DC, but if you want, you can use a car battery charger. Now this is a lot more dangerous, but remember, you need all the safety gear, gloves, mask. And also another warning, do this outside, because these bubbles coming off are hydrogen, and you don't need to be a genius to know hydrogen is extremely flammable. This is pure hydrogen, so if you do it inside, like I'm outside on this very nice sunny day, if you do it inside, the hydrogen can build up in the ceiling on top of your roof, so you know, you could have a big explosion on your hands. So I've actually never tried this apple cider vinegar thing. I don't know if it's going to work, because I can't really see any bubbles coming off the piece. Well, there's a few there, but that's, you know, yeah. So I'll leave this for about, I'll leave it for 2 hours. Then I will come back and show you the results when we are done, and I will clean all these up with a bunch of sandpaper and abrasives and show you what the results are. Now for some of the more heavily rusted, we use this neutral rust, which is a rust neutralizer. Basically what that does is any surface rust or any pits that have rust in them, it converts it over, and yeah, rust is no longer there. It's magic. Yeah, so I'll come back in a while. Part of this is also how to get started, you know, if you want to do what I'm doing, you know, restoring motorbikes and restoring whatever. You can always go down to a thrift store, as they say in, you know, Europe and America, or, you know, second-hand store, and you can always find, you know, old tools there. Find old, I've got a pipe wrench in here, a crescent and a spanner. Got a bunch of spanners in here, crescent. You can buy all these things and they'll be old and rusty, and you can do this to them for very low cost. and you only need like a $50 budget. So like, you know, spend about $10 getting these tools. Like you get all of these for $10 if you looked hard enough, and then you could, you know, then spend like $40 on spend $40 on something that, you know, you want to buy, like a carburetor or something, and you can do it up and slowly build up your budget. Yeah, so I'm going to leave these tools sitting here, and I'll come back when they are finished and show you the results. Alright, so quick update. It's been about an hour. I think both doing the magic. The vinegar you can't really see, but with vinegar you kind of have to brush off the rust afterwards. So I'll see about that. The electrolysis is working really well. I just wrapped some steel wire around the bundle of tools so that they'll get an even coat. And I don't think you can see, oh you might, but there's a few pieces of rust floating on the top. And the water is getting really like murky and rusty. You can see the tools there. When I took them out to wrap the steel wire around, I could see it was actually working quite well. It's like halfway done, I think. Not sure about this, but yeah, I will see. I'll be back when it's completely finished. Right. Right. So I think we're at the 2-hour mark now of this rust removal process. So I'm just gonna take off the power supply. Not that it matters, but okay. Take out the anode, which is the positive first, just because why not. That is our anode. It may not have rust on this. You can see it's quite black. Yes. Anyway, now I'm going to take out this negative. Here. Oh. Okay, whatever, just leave that. Oh shit. Cardboard box is flying everywhere. Okay, so this is the bundle of tools. We'll leave this aside because I might reuse that. No, I'm not sure. But yeah. This is, I'll take some of these out. Some of these have paint on them, so they don't clean up as well. But still, this one's cleaned up. These pliers cleaned up really nicely. Hardly any rust left on these. They didn't have a lot of rust, but you know, look, they do give it the rust. The electrolysis process does give this. Oh, it's my dog. It does give it this kind of black phosphate look, which is just from the rust coming off. But that should be good. This was really rusty. Don't know if it's a bit speckled, but look, I'm just rubbing that rust off with my hand, so that wire brush there thing should do the job. This just had some spot kind of surface rust. Looks like that's all come off, you know, I can just wipe it off. And it's freed up quite a bit as well. Man, the USA, good quality. Then there's this pipe wrench, which I didn't show before, but it looks like the handle kind of cleaned up a bit. No, not all the rust has come off, but that should also clean up quite nicely. So that's all the things for the electrolysis. I'll put those there. Now for this, now for the vinegar. So this is one of the crescents. So that most of the rust stays on them, but reckon I could probably get that off, maybe. No, I think I prefer electrolysis more, but this looks pretty good. Because the electrolysis actually pulls off the rust. If I were to leave that overnight, which I probably will, I'll probably leave the pipe wrench overnight and come back in the morning. Maybe these two I'll leave overnight in the electrolysis. It's just so, I always just want to take them out and I don't actually end up leaving them overnight. Anyway, so I'll clean up these two. I'll clean up all of them and I'll just show you the results. quick update. It looks like the parts are almost done. It's been about an hour. It's a bit stuck. Most of the rust is probably neutralized by now. Probably going to go over some spots right now to just, make sure that I get everything. Just turn these parts over. Yeah, look. Gives it that black finish as I was talking about. It's nice and neutralized. It has a purple colour, as you can see. So yeah, I'll go once over the parts that need it. That looks pretty good. Probably didn't need to do that one, but can't be too sure. I'll go once, like I said, go once over the parts that need it, and then I'll come back once all of that's dry, and I'll probably use wire brush to scrub it off. And I've got that bucket of water, because that for the electrolysis I just use normal water. Usually you'd use water with what is it? Sodium carbonate. So you can use sodium bicarbonate. It's just not as good because it's an electrolyte that makes the water more conductive. Water is really conductive, but it just makes it more conductive. So yeah, next time I do, I'll probably use sodium carbonate. Yeah. So yeah, it's getting a bit dark and cold outside, so I might finish up soon. As you can see, the camera's wobbling a bit because it's a bit cold, but yeah. I think all these parts, that's nice, and that's beautiful. Like, look, that's a good example of electrolysis working. There was a rusted there, I don't know why, because it's just like got a straight, I don't know. But that was all rusted there, and that's all these parts. We might have to neutralize that, but yeah, alright, well, I'll get. Okay guys, back with an update on this. I have another set of pliers that I have had for a while and I've used them, but they've been rusty, and it doesn't really matter, but they haven't actually been through any of these baths, so the electrolysis bath and the vinegar bath, so I want to see how this neutralizer does on that. It doesn't have any flake. Right, sorry about that, I accidentally click the button and it stopped recording, but basically what I've done is put a full coat on this, on everything, on these pliers, and even the spanner, which didn't need it, but I thought better safe than sorry. So what I'm going to do is I'll come back in an hour. Shows you how long it takes for stuff to dry. It says leave 48 hours, but this stuff should be fine because it doesn't have a ton of rust on it. The only thing I'm worried about is this pipe wrench, which had a bit more rust on than the other parts, but it should be fine. Okay, well, I will be back once this is all dry. Alright guys, quick update. I have washed off all of the rust neutralizer. The pipe wrench cleaned up really nicely. You can see there's a bit of surface rust, but that doesn't matter. That's just from flash rusting. You can see that there, cleaned up real nice. Back to bare metal, that the yellow tinge is flash rust, just like I said. Yeah, now you can see the proper name, and that's made in Germany, which means it's high quality. This had some grease on it, but that was kind of dried out, but this loosened up really nicely. I think that was through the electrolysis. So that's 1 point to electrolysis, and it's made in the USA. Anything made in Germany, England, or the USA is good quality. So this is made in England, but it's a pair of Ford pliers. Oh no, it's not. That's the other ones. Anyway, I don't actually know what this is, but made in England, good quality. They cleaned up really nicely. These are the Ford pliers. Dad probably got these with the car, I'm not sure, but they're in the box. So. Ford. I also see it on the other side, but you can't see it. Yeah, they cleaned up really nice. Yeah. And then this, probably the rustiest of them all. Cleaned up probably the best out of all the rusty things. You can see its original colour, which is blue. It's not pitted, but it's been dinged, so the pitting isn't from rust. Just want to see, there's some markings there. If that will focus, which I don't think it will. I'll take it. Yeah, I don't know what that says. Let me hold on. What is it? Josephson and Son Limited. Okay. Alright, well that's great. Yeah, I think, here's the winding mechanism for the pipe wrench. It just goes in there. And then you put this on like this. It's supposed to wind up like so, but okay, I'll stand it up. All epic logo. Needs redesigning because we changed our name from Car Factory 74 to Car Factory Customs, so that needs redesigning, but I think I'll just leave it like that because that sounds cooler. Well, no, it doesn't sound cooler, it's just easier leaving it, because I don't think Car Factory Customs will fit in there, so just, you know, just if you wanted to know. Okay, so there we go. Pipe wrench altogether. I need to get a bit of lighting in here, but pipe wrench altogether. Original colour was red, as you can see. There you go, winding it up and winding it down. So that's really nice. That's going to add to my collection of tools that I have. Mostly brand new tools, but some good restored ones. Oh yeah. These are spanners cleaned up quite nicely, as you can see. And then this crescent was it's made in Japan. That's also the other one, made in Japan. They make really good products there. Especially old products. Cars and tools and stuff. And things like Bosch and Ryobi and stuff. Which I believe are Japanese. But, you know, allegedly. So, yeah, that cleaned up real nicely. So we've got a 10mm, an 8, a 12, an 11, and a 10. So most Japanese motorcycles or cars use 10, 11 and 12 mil bolts. So look, I've got 10, 11 and 12. I've got 2 10s actually. And now I've got an 8 for smaller things. Then the crescent's great because you don't actually need any of these. You can just get one big crescent like this, and then you can fit all the sizes. And then it's good having a smaller one so that you can fit in anywhere and get the right bolts out. So yeah, I think I would go with electrolysis more than the vinegar method, just because it takes off everything and it takes it back to bare metal. It's less likely to flash rust. Vinegar works if you're doing something really fragile and you have loads of time, but I would prefer electrolysis for most parts, and also parts for like automotive work. I would prefer electrolysis. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this video. It's a bit longer than usual, I think. I have to edit it and see how long it is, but yeah, hope you enjoyed. Obviously, like always, remember to like, subscribe, share the video if you want. Hit the bell when you subscribe. There's a little bell. Turn that on so you get notified when I upload. Comment what you want to see next. Yeah, I'll see you in the next video.